I'm excited to be here with Nicole Wehn. Welcome and thank you for sharing your six-figure breakthrough with us.
You're welcome, and I'm really looking forward to being here.
So, I'm doing this series, Six Figure Breakthroughs, to talk to women who have gone through SOMBA Kickstart and then, gradually built their six-figure and multiple six-figure business. And in January 2020, you did Kickstart for the first time. What did that do for your business? Like what were your business like before Kickstart and after Kickstart?
Before Kickstart, I was not really having an online business, to be honest. I thought I was because I was already attracting clients via online channels, but I did not have any online products. And I always had the dream to have my own online course and to really properly sell, like through a launch strategy and all of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any list. I didn't have my visibility was just about to grow on social media. I was investing a lot of time into social media to grow an audience there, but I would not really. I mean, it wasn't really. It was more like a consulting business where I would gain clients through through my network.
Yeah. So you were hoping for word of mouth referral business, and it was probably slow. And then you decided, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously and go for a real online business.
Yes, I already had the dream for, I think, almost over a year to have my own online business. And I had bought other courses before, how to create an online course and how to really properly launch and stuff. But they were never really, they never got me to where I wanted to go. And then I remember coming across the master classes in December, and I signed up for them. And that was the first time that I saw you. And I was like, wow, she's giving away so much content. And the content is not, your average freebie. It's like this really valuable, like if you really watch the master classes or even this training that you're doing now, if you're really doing the work in this free training, you're going to already get ahead no matter what you do, So that's, for me, was very impressive. And then I joined Kickstart in January. Yeah. And that was a very good decision.
Yes. And in Kickstart, you created okay, you were already a marketing consultant,
Yeah.
for B2B. So what did you create in Kickstart? Did you know already what kind of course you wanted to create, or you did not?
No, I had a completely different idea of what I actually created in Kickstart because I thought that I'm going to create a course about personal branding because that's what I do. I'm a personal branding coach and mentor, and I thought that was what I was going to do. And then when I found out what the problem of the people was, I realized it was actually positioning, ideal client, where do I find my target audience, all of these things, and really around the ideal client,
Yeah.
which is so important, that I created a course about positioning.
Ah, a lot of people have the same experience. I recently talked to Jane, Jane von Clay, and
Mhm.
she thought she was a copywriter, but then her survey and interviews showed that she should create an SEO course. And I find it fascinating. This seems to happen to a lot of people. So you went ahead, you created a positioning course, and how did that go for you?
It went really well. I mean, it was like a roller coaster ride, right? I mean, producing my first online course and being like, I did everything for the first time, I think, in Kickstart. I created my first Facebook group. I was live for the first time in a group. I created my first videos. I think everything was a first during Kickstart. So for me, it was, especially emotionally and mindset wise, it was quite the struggle at times because I felt overwhelmed by myself, by my own expectations of myself and expectations of how this was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And what really helped me during Kickstart was the fact that I didn't have to worry about what I had to do, because it was really like Kickstart was so simple, only a couple of steps every week, so very manageable. So
Yes.
that, the content did not overwhelm me at all, but I was so overwhelmed with myself.
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
And the biggest struggle is between our ears.
Absolutely. It's actually, I realized last year that that was my biggest struggle in general in business. And it made me start a new training. So I'm actually training to becoming a transformational embodiment coach at the moment.
Yeah.
But not to be just that, but to actually integrate that into my work, into my marketing work with the people that I work with, because we all have limiting beliefs. We all have fears and they pop up. And then when they are, when they are coming up for you, what do?
Yeah.
Like, and I was in panic mode, like my heart racing. And I remember the first time I went live in the group, I was a mess, like complete mess.
But you did it, and you survived. You
I
did
did.
not. You did not die, and
I'm still here.
you're still here. And it gets easier and easier every time you do it. You take steps out of your comfort zone, and then you master it. And what happened after Kickstart? What was your results?
So during Kickstart, I had a five-figure upsell after it, which was fantastic because I didn't expect that. I didn't know that that was coming at the time. I know nowadays people talk about upsells very early in the program, but at the time I was completely oblivious to it. I didn't even know that that was an option.
Didn't know that this was an option. No.
No. And so it was a pleasant surprise, I must say. I basically repaid all of my investment that I made with you, obviously, and all of the other things that I invested in. And after that, I made my course into a proper. It wasn't a proper online course. It was more a group coaching program that I made out of it. But I had the content that I recorded, and I used that, and I launched it another two times last year. And it made me grow my business to 6 figures in October, which was absolutely mind-blowing to me.
Absolutely. So in 10 months to 6 figures.
Yeah, from the year before, which is also quite interesting. Year before, I had 24,000 euros in revenue.
Yeah. And that was from being more like a freelancer type business or consulting business.
Consulting for corporate company, like small medium enterprises, that I would go in and consult. You look at their processes and then help them improve them, because I studied marketing and also have 18 plus years experience and also a lot of corporate experience. And then I did the obvious thing. I started with that.
Yeah.
And it was easy for me. I had a lot of people in my network from my corporate career that also knew me. And so I started with 4 clients, which was absolutely amazing. But I sold all of my time. And at the time, I had one big client, and that big client was a startup, and I set up all of their marketing from scratch, from corporate identity to the podcast, like really everything, website, online, you name it. And they went bankrupt after 10 months. And I ended up, having worked 3 months that I never got paid for, not to this day. So it was quite a shock to me. And that made me realize, that was like my first epiphany. I was like, oh my God, I can't just sell my time like that anymore. I have to really be mindful about the way I build my business, because I'm not in a hamster wheel like I was in my corporate career. I really want to live the flexibility and the freedom and the everything that I had as a dream of this building my own business, what made me want to build my own business. And something that also became clear to me is that I don't just want to work in a corporation and help them, be a tiny wheel again, like I was when I was in a big American company at the end of my corporate career. And it also made me find my mission, to encourage women to show themselves and to become visible and to make their voice heard, which is very similar to your own mission.
We can do this all together. It's not just me, it's you and everyone else. We can all have a big impact. But it's
absolutely
like ripple effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically meeting you and seeing you as a role model also modeled that very well for me, because I was like, okay, I can actually make a difference in the world. That was a mindset, like my mindset was too narrow before I really joined this whole Kickstart. It's basically the
Kickstart,
first thing.
the red movement,
Everything
Team Red.
The red movement, exactly. And I remember my husband, oh my God, this is such a funny story. When I told my husband that Christmas about you, that I found this woman that's really good at what she does and that I want to join her program, he was like, oh no, not another one that's a really, after having bought other programs that weren't as good. And he was like, no, not another one. I'm like, no, she's legitimate. She really knows what she's talking about. Oh, crazy times.
Yeah. So what I like about your story as well is that you kept on doing some of the stuff you were doing before. So you still kept doing one-on-one work mixed with your group coaching. You didn't go all in on online courses. And I want to share, want people to know that you can you can have a business model any way you want. Online business doesn't mean online courses. It means that you attract your ideal client through online marketing activities. So, well, how does your business model look like today?
And so instead of an ascension model, I see it more like pillars. So I have pillars of different revenue streams. So I have the one-on-one in coaching. I have the corporate clients that I consult with, and I have freelancers that support me in the different areas. So I don't do the work.
Yeah.
So like an agency type.
Yeah.
That's the layout of that. I go in, I do the strategy, and then I give them the freelancers that do the stuff for them, basically. And I just do the coordination of their marketing activities. And my third pillar is group coaching, like having a group program and not just working one-on-one. And I do hope that I will add a book to it next year. So that's my plan for my fourth pillar. Fingers crossed.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And that's important to know. Like everyone creates their own business model. And this is not something like before you did Kickstart, you did not know that this business would look like that. You have to do the work to actually know what it's going to look like, what you like and what you don't like.
Absolutely. I mean, I found out an online course is not for me. So I really like the group coaching aspect. I like the interaction with people and I like to coach people. I love coaching people, but I know that, and I also love my one-on-one work. Like that's where I believe I have the most impact. But that might change, next year or the year after. I'll probably be like, whoever wanted to do one-on-one, you never know. It's like, what's his name? What's the film with the box of chocolates?
Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah. He says that life is a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And that's exactly how I feel about my business. And the beauty is the curiosity that it doesn't have to be one line. It doesn't have to be just one thing. It can be whatever you make of it and whatever you want it to look like. Yeah. And, a hustle mode might work for one person and being the relaxed entrepreneur for another. It also has to do with, revenue goals. And do you want to manage a team? Like, for example, I know that there's a lot of marketers out there that say, oh, you have to hire your first person, like hire in terms of really literally hiring and not freelancers.
Yeah.
I've managed people. I'm in no rush to have a full-time employee, to be honest, after having the experience of managing people.
Yeah. So. But I love that you say that you love your one-on-one work and that you actually online course is not for you. You said those two things. But I remember in January 2020, you were like, I don't want to do one-on-one. I want to have an online course. Do you think that you would have done all these things if you had not created an online course first?
No, I would still have that because I thought the online course is the holy grail. I thought that was passive income. Everyone's like, I'm laughing now because it's what it's so not passive income. It's not passive, and it is income. But for me, it was like, okay, I'll just create an online course, and that will be the end of it. And then I will have a 6-figure business or even a 7-figure business, and I will just grow that and grow that and grow that. And working with people and running it and launching it, it made me learn so much, like really about myself, about the way I want to work, about how people in my audience like to be taught, how they like to interact. And I would have never in a million years believed that, because I had my own belief about what it should look like. And I was pleasantly surprised that nowadays I think completely different.
Yeah.
It's
So I'm glad you share this because it's hard to explain that why should someone create an online course that doesn't actually want to sell online courses? It's because of the transformation that you will go through when you
yeah.
create. Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you for sharing, Nicole. That's really
I,
important.
I did not know that I had so many limits and beliefs until I did the things, and it helped me with in so many other areas. Like, for example, just the aspect of going out of my comfort zone and still being here and still breathing and still
Yeah.
still being alive. I mean, I was so scared. I was literally scared, and working through that and how I can support myself also in a time where shit hits the fan. What do I do for myself? Like, how do I support myself? How can I work with others? How can I just build the business that really truly supports my own vision and my own life?
Yeah.
That was I would have never had that without going through Kickstart, and also without actually having you giving me the different view of how things can be. They can be anything you want it to be, as long as you just believe in it.
Yeah. But you're not going to have this transformation unless you do the work. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not the same person that I was that a year ago, or a year and a half it's now ago,
Year and
right?
a half ago now. Nicole,
And
thank you for sharing. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
you're
It's
welcome.
if it has inspired one person, it was worth it. But I think we have inspired now hundreds of women to think differently about how they can progress in their online business. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.